All right, in today's episode, we sit down with Kassi Solberg from Sun Mountain Four Seasons Farmers Market over in Kellogg, Idaho. We're going to talk about two of my favorite things. That's pasture-raised organic food and building community. Let's go. Hey, welcome to the North Idaho Experience, a podcast for the people of North Idaho and those who are North Idaho curious. This is the stories and the businesses of people that call North Idaho home. If you are thinking about making North Idaho your home, give our real estate team a call, text, or email. We would love to help you with that today. So I met Cass. This is Kassi Solberg from
Welcome, Cassie.
Sun Meadow Four Seasons Farmers Market and Sun Mountain Farms over in Kingston. We met, not the usual place like Dave was suggesting.
I always say he always meets people in the sun.
Yeah, I do.
Not the case.
Not the case.
No.
That sounds weird when you say it out loud, but it's not weird, I promise you. There's always clothing on. We met because one of her clients reached out to me, or customers reached out to me and said, you have to have Cassie on your podcast. So here we are.
Yeah.
The community speaks and we listen. And we are very happy to have you. She brought us gifts.
Oh, that's for us? What is it?
Yeah. What is it, Cassie?
Pickled asparagus and some sausage from our pork.
This is your pork from your
sausage.
farm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I just went and bought terrible sausage from the store. I didn't know this was here.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either.
Okay.
Now it's here, but
Raised non-GMO and
Nice.
holistically
that is
right
awesome.
in North Idaho.
That is it. Just sausage meat, or do you have a flavoring in there? Is it like?
We do put our own special blend in there.
Okay, cool. I don't even have to ask. I know it's all organic. And
That's
I
awesome.
love it.
So, Cassie, I told you before we were on air that, I usually walk in 2 minutes before and I don't know anything about
Accurate.
the people that we're talking to. But so tell me about you. So I know we talked a little bit. You are an Idaho native, correct?
Correct.
Born and raised where?
The Raptor Prairie. What used to be the Raptor Prairie.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Let me ask you real quick before we go on. That's probably hard because the world's growing, right? People are moving everywhere. But I mean, you've seen this place for, do you mind if I ask how old you are?
45.
Okay. So you've seen this for 4.5 decades and you've watched the changes. Was it hard to see the prairie go away?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I remember riding horses and jumping irrigation pipe, and there's a farmer up the street that got me out of a few pickles and used
Totally
to take him
different.
cookies, and I'm pretty sure he passed away because his farm sold, and just more and more of the prairie being taken up
Yeah.
by houses.
How many did you grow up farming? Did you have some acreage when you were a kid? How many
Yep.
acres did you guys have?
We had 50 acres. My aunt had a ranch that I was a farmhand most of my life. My grandparents owned Dexco Mini Mart, which is right across the street here on Government Way by the cemetery there. Tim's Meats used to be there, and before that it was Sunshine Mint. Anyways, so the kids, we all worked from a young age. We worked on the farm and we worked at the convenience store. I was the deli girl.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Did you hook up the sandwiches? Put a lot of meat? Yes. good.
Yeah,
That's
my
very cool.
grandma, she always wanted like one of those old-fashioned pharmacy kind of like where you go in and get a soda and
Yeah.
like milkshake, whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's crazy with, how things have changed. Even the hometown I was talking to you about that I grew up in. Like I told you, when I was young, I grew up in Yucca Valley. There was nothing out there, right? I remember when Walmart came in, we were like, what? We thought we were like, it was the biggest
You
thing,
made
right?
it.
Yes. In fact, I knew so little I remember I was like 9 years old. And Walmart came in, and you know how they have the short door that they push the carts through? Do you guys remember those? Like that
Oh, yeah,
little
yeah, the
short
shopping
door?
cart. Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was a kid's door. I remember I was so excited. I'm like, they have a kid's door. And I thought that was the neatest thing. And, like I said, I grew up in a very, very different area than you did. I didn't have horses. I didn't get to run across the prairie. Nothing grew where I lived. Everything's dead. It's the desert. But, it was a different way of life back then. And now I look back at it and things have even changed in my hometown so much to where it's not a place that I necessarily recognize. The difference is I don't also want to be around it at all. There's been a lot of changes for the worst. And I'm certain that there's a lot of Idaho natives like yourself that would say like, man, this hasn't been the change that I've wanted to see this place grow the way it has, which is a solemn reality.
When
It
did
really
you
is.
when did you first notice it? Not that we're going to talk about farming, I promise, but
Hell yeah.
But this is a good opportunity to talk to somebody that grew up here, because 90% of the people you meet now are from somewhere else.
Right.
So when did you notice? I mean, it sounds like you had a pretty idyllic childhood, other than hard work, which is a good thing. But like you got to experience North Idaho the real way. When did it really start to change?
I think 2007. 2007, 2010, when the housing market, when we had the recession or whatnot.
Right.
I think I saw a lot of people leaving, I've left myself even.
Yeah. Where'd you
know.
go?
I lived in Texas for a while. I lived in Virginia. I just kind of like, I was young,
Yeah. You got to get out and explore.
my little kids and everything. Yeah. So,
But you
Yeah.
came back.
yeah, I came back, and the prairie was being taken up by the time I got back. Our farm sold, I think in 2000, I believe, right around 2000.
What was, if you don't mind me asking, what was the motivation to sell the farm? Was it just,
The kids all grew up, moved away. That's
Yeah.
normally the way it goes.
Yeah.
wow.
How many siblings?
I have 2 siblings.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
And
But
nobody.
cousins, everybody,
gotcha.
Nobody really stuck around to do it.
Yep.
I think we all would regret that now.
I feel like there's a shift now where people are wanting to go back to that lifestyle. And now it's like to buy a chunk of land like that in North Idaho is,
Yeah, I've been trying
Pretty
to get back ever
unaffordable.
since.
yeah.
Yep.
It's super hard because you watch, we always get, people love shiny things, right? The phones and the internet and computers and these things. But eventually I think there's always this desire to go back to the way things were, which the truth is that there's so many people, even my age, that don't understand what the way things were. Right. We actually don't even understand that, but there's this longing to come back to, I always shopped at grocery stores, and now I'm starting to love farmers markets. I like going back there. I like meeting people that are growing things, people that are participating in it, knowing where my food came from, that it was a mile up the road. Like that's actually becoming more important to me. And I'm willing to spend more money for food to go and get it from people that are local and everything else, because we talk about this all the time about money leaving the community. Supporting farmers markets, I think, is a great way to keep money and wealth and continuity in our community to be able to support those things as opposed to running to Safeway every time or somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can control what you're putting into your body and your kids' bodies. That's the big one, man. You pretty much anything you buy at a grocery store, unless it's raw, well, even raw meat, they put dye in it sometimes to make it look better, or vegetables, it's all super processed and just garbage. So if you can find it locally, I mean, chances are it's going to be a much better product for you and your family.
Yeah. That's why I started the market.
Yeah.
So tell us about this market.
So the market, we have raw milk, we have eggs, we have meat, we have all kinds of things. We have tallow products, skincare.
Tallow is so big right now, thankfully. It's awesome. My wife has so many tallow she got me using a tallow lotion that I've been using. She said I had bags under my eyes, so she got me a tallow lotion that yeah. So I'm trying anti-aging.
Yeah, we have tinctures, we have teas, we have everything, and it's all made local. It's all, by hand. I started it because I was basically my own Noah's Ark. I was trying to raise everything from birth to harvest on a small scale. And when I sell a whole or a half of pork or beef, whatever it is, I'm going to charge more because I'm on that smaller scale I can only raise so many compared to these commercial farmers, right? So I looked around and I was just like ran ragged from staying up all night long, farrowing hogs or whatever I was doing, you know, lambing, whatever. And I was just like, there's got to be a way for me to hone in on the one thing that I'm good at. You know, like the certain things do really well on my mountain. Other things don't, you know. And I need to break away from this. I don't know. It's like being in an island. I really need to focus on the things that grow well and that I can produce on a greater scale, whatever. And I need to give this to other people, you know, what's working, what's not. You know, I'm rotationally grazing animals on a mountain. I mean,
it's not easy, right?
On cliffs. Yes. You should see the butterballs that roll down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Recently, my bull got out. Everybody knew about it by the time I woke up Sunday morning. So, like, it isn't like you're going down the mountain or you're going up to another mountain, whichever. It's difficult.
Yeah. So you need to be able to specialize, and this is why communities work, is because, you know, Joe can raise chickens on his property and you can grow vegetables and pork on yours, and everybody gets together, there's trading or money involved, and that's how it spreads.
Yep.
So that's the goal, right?
And that's part of what we do. Like on the first and second or third weekend, of the month, we do a farmers exchange. Everybody can come in and exchange their products. You can monetary or whatever you want to do. And you can bring anything to the table. During the week, we're actually a private association, and so everybody's a member. And that takes us out of the regulatory body.
Perfect.
We operate in the private sector.
So you don't have to worry about, I don't know, whoever it is, the FDA or whatever, trying to get their paws in on anything.
No,
Good for you.
This is you making a conscious decision for yourself, you know, and your family, just like what you were talking about. I really want exactly what you were saying is exactly what I have in my notes for today, is that I want to know where my food came from, you know, and that was the importance of it. That's why I was trying to be Noah's Ark, you know?
Yeah.
Because really, I didn't want my kids, you know, I wanted them not to eat that stuff. And so I grew it myself, and I, you know, just ran myself ragged trying to do it from seed to finish, whatever, can it, prepare it, preserve it, everything.
It's an enormous amount of work.
It's enormous. And the communities used to work like that,
right,
where one person had this and another person had this, and they would trade things and they would, you know, barter, whatever. And that was how it was. And the private sector is where business was. It was there. Yep. When they started imposing all these regulations, it's because they were trying to capitalize on it.
Right. Right. Yeah, you know, and they do it in the name of safety, right?
Right.
Like, this milk is dangerous. We need to pasteurize it.
That's something that you probably know so much more than I do on.
Yep.
Do you know who Liver King is?
We can tell, Dave, because you're drinking a.
Have you ever heard of Liver King?
No.
Okay, so he's like this big, steroided out dude that eats raw meat.
How dare you, sir? He's all natural.
His documentary came out yesterday, and he talks about his use of steroid. He did a while ago.
Oh, okay, so it's not.
I actually really want to watch his thing, but I don't care what anybody thinks of this guy. Like, you know, he's huge on social media. Does a lot of stuff for theatrics. But here's what I can tell you that I learned from him. I have been told since I was a little kid, oh, don't eat that cookie dough because it has raw egg in it. And don't do that because it's undercooked. Oh, you know, whatever else, thinking that I'm going to get deathly ill. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to get salmonella. I still think chicken's one of those you probably shouldn't eat until you cook it. But anyways, But you see him all of a sudden. Now, granted, he's raising stuff like you, right? Like he's got his own farm. He's raising his own bulls, his own cows, his own chickens, everything else. And you see this guy and he eats everything raw. So he'll grab just eggs and just eat eggs and all this stuff and eat raw liver. That's his big thing. Every day he eats raw liver and bull testicle, all this other stuff. And it's all raw. It made me realize, hold on. Like, why is he alive? Why can he eat this and he's not dying? What is going on? Yeah. And it made me start questioning some stuff to be like, okay, hold on. What's actually good for me? I told my kids the other day because they had a yogurt and they're like, oh, it's expired. I'm like, did you open it and use your nose and see if it's expired? Well, it says May 4th. I don't care what it says.
Yeah.
Open it up and look at it and taste it and smell it. And if it's fine, then eat it. I'm not going to go buy a new one just because the government said that it's expired by this date. So I love the fact that you're doing those types of things because I think that without people like you, people like me get stuck in whatever's available to me, right? And that people never expand out and realize that like we haven't been eating things out of packages and plastic for more than 40, 50 years, right? Like things have changed drastically after World War II. To where everything became processed and cheaper, and how do we make more out of this waste, and how do we put, and preservatives and everything else. It's not the way that your grandparents grew up, or mine.
It's not. And to create the giant cities that we've created, you almost have to do that.
You have to.
Which is unfortunate. Those people choose to live in a city or maybe they can't get out. I don't know, but they're kind of stuck with that. We up here have the option, and lots of people out there in the U.S. have the option to do it differently. The egg thing is interesting. So we have our own chickens, and they're all organic, pasture-raised, like very happy chickens, except the rooster. He's an asshole, but all the other chickens are happy. And my son recently, he eats a lot of eggs, and he drank like 6 raw eggs.
Oh, did he do it?
Yeah, he did it. Yeah, and he's like, the texture, Dad, and I was like, yeah, that's the only reason I don't like the texture. Yeah. It's disgusting, but it seems like a viable
Bring an
option.
egg on, dude. I'll throw a whole egg.
I probably have some in the truck, but I sell them at work because I get a lot of egg. We have a lot of chickens, and I'll sell them at work, but for like a reasonable price. You know, we sell them for $5 a dozen. I don't raise my prices. I don't wash them either. So if anybody complains, I'll tell them I'll wash them, but you're going to pay $7 a dozen.
Let me ask her though. Washing eggs. I just heard something about the fact that actually makes them go bad sooner. Is that correct?
Correct.
Mm. Mm-hmm. So that is why I don't do it, because you don't need to refrigerate them, right?
No, they have a bloom on them from the hen, and they're perfect the way they are. You don't even need to refrigerate them. You can keep them in your pantry, and then you can keep them on the counter.
Yep, that's what we do. So it probably started because some egg company wanted their eggs to be prettier and then started washing them, but then realized you have to refrigerate them if you wash them, and maybe that's how it started. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's in those eggs.
That's true.
The grocery store eggs. I have no idea.
Yep.
I really don't.
The color's always off.
They look way different.
Aren't they so white? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like well, even the brown ones. I've noticed, like, I make scrambled eggs, and I even notice, even with like the brown, organic, cage-free, whatever else, omegas, yada, 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 yada. My scrambled eggs are so much darker yellow with eggs from his farm versus the ones that even the most natural ones, I'm like, why are they different? I don't know.
Yeah.
What are they feeding them? I get my feed up in Rathdrum, and it's all Idaho sourced grain. It's like good stuff.
Non-GMO.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
And they spend a lot of the day out foraging.
Yeah, they're foraging. Like, just because it says cage-free.
Yeah, it's in like a warehouse. But they're not in a cage.
They're in a warehouse because raising things on pavement.
Right. Yeah.
That's the way to go. That's what we want. That's what the creator wanted. Yeah.
So back to the farmer's market. Okay, it's in Kellogg, right? Is it indoors? Because it's
in Kellogg. Yes, it's
Four
year
Seasons
round.
makes me think it's indoors.
Yep.
Okay. How many people participate in it? So it's a private thing, so it's a membership basically. How many people do you have participating currently?
So we have 30.
Okay.
About 30 farms, 30 producers.
That's awesome. Are they all from Silver Valley, or are you getting people from over here too?
From everywhere, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to have more farmers that are from the Silver Valley, absolutely, because I am trying to build a supply chain. I mean, I want a food supply chain.
Seems like a good idea in today's times because it feels like the current food supply chain is very fragile. And if something happened to disrupt that, having a local, I mean, you'd be business as usual.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't worry about
Right.
being non-essential.
Right. You know, your family's going to eat. So, okay. So farmer's market, where's it at? I think you told me the address.
631 Division Street.
Okay. In Kellogg. And then it's on the 1st and 3rd.
We're open 5 days a week.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Gotcha. So
We're
you can go in
open
there.
5 days a week. We're open Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
We just moved to this location, kind of like you guys.
Yep.
So I get it. We moved to this location. We're actually in the church house,
Cool.
which is cool. That's where we're going to have a grand opening, like a 3-day market fair. It's happening May 30th, Friday, May 30th
Okay.
through June 1st, which is Sunday, June 1st.
Okay.
And so all members are welcome to set up. The community is welcome to come. As soon as you, with a private association, we'll have a sheet up that tells you what we are. And when you come in, you're agreeing to abide by our bylaws.
Is there a
that's it.
cost or is it just that? You just have to agree to the bylaws?
There is a cost.
Okay.
It's $40 a year for Silver Valley residents. We consider Silver Valley all the way to St. Mary's. So,
Okay.
I mean,
That seems fair.
and then for it's $15 every 3 months for non-residents.
Cool.
So,
So
but
us.
we have people. Yeah, there you go, you guys.
Yeah.
That's still what, $60
Yeah.
a year?
$60
That's
a
not big
year.
deal. Yeah. What kind of products are there that people can see?
Some of them I can't talk about,
Okay. Fair enough.
but I can tell you can get your cuts.
Okay.
Everybody's been vetted that's in there as far as if it's raised organically, if it's raised holistically, if it's, what it's fed, everything. You can find pretty much everything. I'm hoping for more market gardeners or just backyard gardeners. They don't have to have any kind of certification or anything. The only thing we want is for them to grow organically.
Yeah.
So what's your vetting process?
So we actually, I go and visit their farms. I talk to them. I mean,
That's awesome.
it's pretty, like I can, with you, I know that where you're getting your feed. It's very, very simple, very simple. Where do you get your hay? What are you feeding them? Are you rotationally grazing them? That's what we want. That's what the community wants.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from talking to the community. They were looking for more, and I was operating in the public sector, and I could not give them more.
Gotcha.
Because we all have our, what we're doing at home and everything, but to bring it into the public sector where all these regulations and things like that, it's not really my cup of tea.
It's a bummer too because government exists for the people, but there's, like you said, when you start getting money involved and everything else. I used to joke about it. I was a police officer and then a fireman and then a police officer, and so I've worked in different areas that are government related. And I always said, like, we were so productive until you got organized and the government got involved. And then we could go on a fire, and I'd be there for 2 weeks. I'd see very little action. I'd hang out. We'd play ultimate frisbee. We'd make the same money. They'd feed us great food, but we did nothing. And I'm like, man, once you bring them in and the regulations and everything else, and, I get it. I just think the legal system puts so much pressure on people that, you got sued because you didn't pasteurize your milk and you didn't do this and that's the problem, and it's really not. So it's nice to see that organizations like you exist, because I think there's a big draw for that up here in North Idaho. People that don't necessarily want no government involvement, but they want the freedom to be able to do things the way that we're supposed to do stuff, right? And not always be checked on and counted on and have so much regulation. I think it was something was posted on social media. Do you have social media?
We do.
I figure you do, so you can get your name out there. There's something posted that said like 100 years ago, you didn't have to ask the government for, and then it had like this list.
Yeah.
You didn't have to ask the government for permission to fish. You didn't have to have the government permission to buy a gun. You didn't have to like all this stuff where you start thinking about it and you're like, why do I have to ask the government to go fish?
Yeah,
why is that not?
Why can't I buy raw milk?
Why
You can
can't
here,
I
but
fish?
There are states you cannot.
Yeah,
Right?
We're conditioned.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are conditioned from a young age.
And a very slow erosion, right? Which is.
And I
that's
do
the
think
crazy
it's
part.
because I do think a lot of that stuff has been brought up with the intent to protect us from people that take advantage of the system, right? I mean, why can't you fish? Why can't you have as many fish? Well, because somebody went out there and netted a bunch of fish, and all of a sudden there was big issues and killed a bunch of things, and they weren't resourceful, right? There's bad people that just take advantage of the system. So I think the intent between a lot of our regulations are there to protect all of us, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, all of a sudden you got somebody over your shoulder, and it's tough. So
Yeah.
Can we talk about the milk thing a little bit? Because that drives me nuts.
Sure.
Like, in other states, I don't know if it still is, but you could not buy it in a store, raw milk.
really,
Yep. Here you can. Why?
Well, most of the raw milk that you're finding is probably has some certifications behind it.
Okay.
Because they're not going to be able to do it.
Okay. Like I can go to Pilgrims and buy raw milk,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And it is raw milk I'm getting,
Yes,
right?
it
Okay.
is.
But they had to go through
Yeah.
some process. Gotcha.
Yep. And that's part of what I'm doing is because there's a lot of people that are doing the same exact thing
Right.
and they're not paying up to get certified, to have all the inspections, to break through all the bureaucratic red tape, right?
Yep. It's kind of dumb because it doesn't take a genius to recognize when milk has gone bad. I don't see the issue.
No, and you know that milk from the grocery store? When that goes bad, I would see it. I would be concerned. I
Yeah.
would. It's pasteurized. All
Yep.
the amino acids, everything has been broken, all the chains. They've added things in that they thought were good for you.
It's not even the same thing.
It's not even the same thing.
Right.
I mean, that is disgusting milk.
And it can be shown because some people that are fairly intolerant of dairy, my understanding is that they can tolerate raw milk and raw milk products, which is crazy.
so I can eat cheese, I can eat dairy products. I haven't drank milk in 20 years. Okay. Now, if I drink milk right now, it's funny because I can have ice cream, I can have whatever. I can take me to Dairy Queen and I can have whatever's in there, right? But if you give me milk, I think I have had it once. This is why this is a story. Within 20 years, and it did not turn out well. I mean, it messed me up. Do you think raw milk would do the same thing?
I do not. I do not. In fact, I suggest you start with a shot of it. Just take a shot of it.
Oh, he's always trying to give me shots.
2 to
You know what?
3
Why is he
times.
trying to give
This
me
is
raw
like
milk?
the easiest thing I've
Try
had to
this
get.
kind of shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I come to your farmer's market, I'm not knowing if there's raw milk or there, but
No.
yeah, in case I find some raw milk,
Yeah.
a shot, and it's not going to destroy my bowels.
No.
Okay.
No. If
I'm
anything,
interested.
it's actually going to improve your gut health. I mean, that's, eating something fermented every day. You should eat something fermented every day. You should have sauerkraut. You should have, something that's not overly processed.
Right.
I'm not saying go buy it from, the grocery store.
Now, I'm going to take you up on that because I have avoided milk for 20 years because I think it's crap. But I told you where I grew up. Like, I didn't have access to raw milk. That wasn't a thing. I was never educated. So I've avoided it because I think it's junk. But I will take you up on this. I'm going to take you up on raw milk, and I'm going to give it a shot. And then I'll probably buy a gallon, and I'll see how my week goes.
I'm
I'm interested.
I'm gonna make a bet that you're gonna be okay.
You think so?
Yeah.
I believe it.
I've been drinking raw milk recently, and I have not had any issues.
Can I test you real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any like indulgences that are like processed, nasty? Like, is there anything that you're like, oh man, I would hate to tell everybody that I love Snickers and I have them hidden in my, I want to know.
Dave eats Doritos.
Okay. I want you to leave me alone right now. This is a conversation over here. Do you
not
have,
the same
do
Doritos
you have
40
any of
years
those,
ago.
do you have any of those indulgences that you like?
I do.
What is it?
I have a Dr. Pepper every week.
Hey,
Every week?
Once a week? Okay.
Dude, good for you.
My wife loves Dr. Pepper.
You know what? In this world, just the air we breathe can be toxic now. I mean, there's so many things, and I love eating. No, seriously, I very, very much. You never know what's going in you now. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, even sourcing things, you just never know what's going on. And I admire the way that you live and the stuff that you eat. But you know what? I've told people too. I've gone on diets multiple times. You see me go on them, and what I've learned more than anything is like literally just being able to not be so hardcore that you can't have a Dr. Pepper. I think sometimes we have to do that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you have to step out and be like, you know what? I'm going to eat this and it's going to just destroy my stomach, but I'm going to just do it because
I want to know more about this Dr. Pepper. Okay, what's the ritual? Is it a particular day? like Sunday morning before church? What's break it down for me here.
I used to go next door to the taco place and just ask for a Dr. Pepper and just buy a Dr. Pepper. Canned Dr. Pepper. I don't know. It's just once a week. Like,
so
I know
the
that
day
I'm going to
varies,
get it.
You're just going to get it once a week.
I look forward to it.
So,
yeah. But at the farmer's market, we have like tortillas,
nice.
Homemade tortillas, like
amazing
sourdough bread, like I don't really have to go
Right.
anymore. I don't even have to really make it at home.
That's nice.
I buy it from
That's
all
awesome.
of our vendors.
That's amazing.
They're all amazing. And I'm there working, I'm there selling their products. And so why not?
That's
I
super
pretty
cool.
much, I put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there this week.
Awesome.
Actually, it's next week. This week is terrible.
Well,
but it's next
like,
week.
that's
I'm
this
going
week
to
is
do it.
terrible. That's a bold
I am
commitment,
going to
Dave.
go there. I'm going to get your number and I'm going to let you know that I'm coming out there because I want a shot of raw milk. But I'm going to do that. I think that's cool. I wish you had more. Is there anything else? Is Dr. Pepper just pretty much it?
that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, I feel terrible because we actually have shut up. So it's how I grew up. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's how I grew up. When I was a kid, I've told this story. Have I told this on air? I don't think I have. I've talked about my rat.
Splinter?
Splinter?
I don't know if you
I
have,
said
but
this? Okay.
tell Please
Oh,
tell.
you have a rat named Splinter?
I had a rat. He's for sure dead now. I mean, this was 25, 30 years ago. How old am I now? I'm 41. It was a long time ago. It was like almost 31. Anyways, when I was a kid, I used to literally, we would go to Mike's Liquor in Joshua Tree, and I would get like a king size Reese's Pieces and a Milky Way. Don't make gross faces at me. I know this is all gross. Okay. I'd get a bag of Doritos. I'd get a Dr. Pepper or a Mountain Dew. We'd go get some Steven Seagal movie, and I'd go sit. My mom would be like, "You want dinner?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." And I'd take my chubby self up to our back house, sit in my red bean bag. I'd watch Steven Seagal movies, and I had a rat tail at the time too. I had hair. I had a rat tail, and I'd had my pet rat Splinter. Okay. I feel like for anybody that's watching this explains a lot of things about me, but I was an only child too,
I
right?
have such a good image of you in
But
my head.
I was this chubby little kid, and I ate junk like that every day, right? My body's immune to, you could give me the worst stuff ever,
a
and I'm
garbage
good.
dump.
I'm like the
can
host.
confirm.
But so Doritos have become this dirty indulgence that I've had my whole life, right? I've always, it's so much so that we've made a joke about it. If you go in my basement, we have 5 frames on the wall that are framed Dorito bags.
I was going to tell on you if you didn't
Different.
tell that.
I was going to tell it. Different colors. You got Cool Ranch, spicy nacho. Anyway, so it's become this joke that if there's any disease that comes from Doritos, I have it.
Guaranteed.
I don't know what it is, but
disease.
His body thrives on red dye number
I'm a
40.
trash panda.
Yeah.
But you know what? That was, it is. And I still maintain some of that. But honestly, like I will say, since I've moved here, my diet has changed significantly for the better. right? To be able to eat good meats and see stuff like this and get in contact with people like you. And I feel so much better. Both of my parents are overweight. They were very overweight at my age right now, and I'm not. Now I notice that my metabolism's slowing down. I'm getting older and everything else, but I'm very, very proud of the fact that I wouldn't say didn't inherit the genes, but I have been able to eat a little bit better and put myself in a healthier position, have a more active lifestyle. And I think a lot of that is helping me with that is these types of things, right? I no longer am worried about necessarily what I'm eating. I'm concerned with what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where did it come from?
Yeah.
And
like
I think that's
cricket
huge.
dust.
Yeah. Great protein. Yeah.
Your Doritos
Uh-huh.
may possibly have cricket dust in them.
Cricket dust?
Yeah.
Like little crickets?
Like dust
Yeah.
from the crickets ground up.
I don't know, but I'm good with cricket. I mean, I would eat a cricket.
You would?
It's
Sure,
trash
why not?
panda.
I
Yeah.
think you guys need to have another episode. He eats a cricket.
Listen,
He'll
if
eat,
if
I
that's what it
guarantee
takes.
he'll eat it.
Spiders.
I used to get the cricket lollipops. You ever seen those where they have them inside of the lollipop? See?
Where did
problem-
those go?
Yeah.
And the
You can still
worms?
find them.
The worms
Those are
inside of them?
awesome.
Yeah.
The problem is you're like getting little nibbles of the leg. I
go.
just want the whole thing at one time.
Yeah,
I don't,
let's go.
I don't want to do the
So I'll
I
eat a
think
cricket.
grasshoppers would be better to eat.
Okay.
probably.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets like live on garbage.
Yeah.
You know, they
I live on
don't
garbage.
like a
really wanna-
cockroach.
I don't really want to eat either, but it's an option.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like I've been trying to eat healthy for probably like 10 years now at least. But when I first started, I was a cop too, and I work in graveyards, like just eating. And I didn't know. I was young. I didn't know, and I was eating crap. And
Sometimes you don't have the choice with that job.
that too, right? You don't have time or whatever. I felt like garbage all the time. And I feel like I'm paying for the sins of my youth and the way I used to eat and consume alcohol and whatever. Because now, I have like, for me, it manifests as acid reflux. And I think it might be tied to gluten. But I'm not 100% sure. For a while, I thought it was dairy. But I find like I can drink raw milk and it doesn't happen. If I eat gluten-free, I don't get it. Sourdough, I think I can tolerate.
Yeah.
For the most part.
A lot of people can that are gluten.
But
We have a lot of gluten-free options at the market because we have a fabulous baker
oh, nice.
that
See?
does all
coming
gluten-free.
Have you ever had his? Yeah, I'm guessing you haven't. He makes sourdough
No, we just met
bites.
today.
You make sourdough
You
bites.
got to have his sourdough bites.
They're bomb. I haven't made them in a
So
while
good.
because they're so dangerously good. They're just like little pretzel nuggets. They're freaking unreal.
Yeah, they're amazing.
From discard?
So what I would do is I would make the same dough that I would make sourdough bread with, and then I would cut it into strips and just chop little balls of it, and then boil it, and then bake it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like almost like a little bagel bite too.
They're
It's like,
dumb.
they're bad.
I was doing like low carbs when he brought those over.
I ruined your day.
Gone. There was like a
Ruined
whole,
you.
there was like 4 loaves in there of just, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And you know what's cool too is that I like your take on it. Like I was saying that you made faces. You actually didn't when I was talking about Milky Ways and Reese's. Is a fact that I think one of the number one things for people wanting to eat healthy is not being put down because they have to. It's almost like politics when somebody says, "Oh, I voted for this person." People are like, "Ooh, I don't like you." It's like, hold on. Even this, it's funny. I'm taking all these small steps. I've never drank Monsters or anything else because I talk about the trash that's in them. I actually picked this up one time and I read it and I'm like, I know like all of those things in this thing. Like I know what those are. And the worst thing in here for me is the sucralose that I'm not happy about. Mm-hmm. But it's funny, even little things like this, I look at it and I'm like, okay, let me just take a little bit of a step better at just eating something a little more healthy. Eventually one day I'll probably not be drinking these and going to something else. And I tried coffee, but it's terrible. But I think that's nice to be able to have like those little steps and just implementing little things into your diet.
You don't have to be 100%,
No.
right? If you're 80% good, I think you're doing pretty good. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
100%.
I think you just need small
on the table.
changes.
Yeah.
Small changes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all it is.
So, if you can incorporate some, like I buy all my beef locally now. Like I said, home-owned chickens, so that's easy. Honey, that's another one. I love to get local honey.
Well, let me ask
We have a lot of local
I
honey.
bet there's probably
We have
so
bees
good.
on our mountain too.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we do honey, and there's 2 more beekeepers in the
Awesome.
market.
for people that wanna that want to start shopping in those places, because sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, right? You go and you buy you don't have necessarily the amount of items that you find at the grocery store, right? So you're a little more confined with farmers markets. But I know Gary Brecka said, he's like, if you could do 2 things to change your health, I don't know if follow Gary Brecka at all. He's big into, he was like, get rid of fluoride and no more folic acid. Buy, organic wheat, not enriched wheat and stuff like that. He's like, if you get rid of those 2 things, it costs you almost nothing. Just get rid of fluoride, stop drinking tap water, and start eating things that don't have enriched folate or folic acid. And he goes, those will have a huge impact on your health at a cellular level. If you were to tell people like, hey, if you never go to the grocery store again and buy this item, what would it be? If you said you will always buy this at the farmer's market, if there was one thing that you think people should always get organic, what would it be?
Meat. What's the one thing that you have with almost every meal?
Daily, right?
You need your protein.
Yep.
Don't buy your protein from these people.
Because who knows where it's coming from? China? I don't even know. Could they ship meat that far? They might.
Yeah.
It's cheap. Yeah. And you're going to pay more. This is where people get hung up. So many people, like, they want a bargain shop. And I get it. If you're on a budget, I get it. But maybe there's something else that you can give up, because what's more important than feeding your kids, like, good food?
Yeah.
But it's huge.
And I think too, like, people don't have to eat as much meat as we do in our diets. Some people are like, they got to have
Stop it.
No, seriously. You see people go out and they're like, I want a 16-ounce steak. It's like, you can actually get by with quite a bit less too, especially if it's probably better for you. One of the reasons why I've had, gut issues in the past probably is because I overeat on things and I'm just putting too much stuff into me.
Guilty of that constantly.
Yeah. And I feel terrible. So that's good. So meat would be your suggestion. If somebody was going to, like, I want to start riding a little bit of a healthier train, put better things in my body, you would say meat products would probably be the number one thing.
Yeah. And preparing your meals at home. Like,
Right. Even if you're not a good cook, like if you just cook, I'm not a great cook, but I do most of the cooking in the house. I cook a meat, a protein, a vegetable, and a carb. Maybe not always a carb, but not that hard.
no.
It's not amazing, but the kids will eat it. It's
Right. I mean, there's certain things that you can buy in bulk that are great. They're good for you.
Yeah.
And other things, like, that's exactly what I would do.
Yep.
And kids, I'm sorry, you're not going to get kids away from candy and things like this. It's not going to happen. They need to have something sweet every once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe it's...
I resonate.
Maybe it's a homemade cookie instead of,
Right, which is way
maybe
better.
it's something else. Maybe it's, dark chocolate versus whatever.
I love that my daughter, she's starting to get into baking. And she'll be like, I want to make some cookies. I'm like, get it, girl. Yeah. Go do it.
Daddy loves cookies.
Yeah,
Yes.
go do it. And I've even tried to go, like, the type of flour that I get, I try to get like organic flour and things like that. And even if we're doing sugar, not getting the granulated broken, even the salt that I order, what do I get? I get the blue bag. I can't remember what it is, but
Oh, the Celtic sea salt.
it's better than Celtic sea
No,
salt.
there's no
Yes,
higher.
it
Get
is.
out here.
Trust me, check it out. But yeah, I mean, I get this type of salt now. I'm like trying to get those small items, so when we do bake and we do things like that we're putting in good ingredients. And they don't have, the ingredients is salt.
Yeah. Salt.
Sodium. I don't even know where to get. Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Redmond real salt.
Yeah, I like that.
We
stuff, too.
carry that. We carry that through our farm.
That's
We
good.
carry
Nice.
all Redmond products and for trail products for livestock. So
nice.
if you need poultry NutriBalance, maybe you need kelp. Everybody should be eating kelp. We should be eating kelp.
How do you?
awesome.
What's the preferred method? Is it?
I just put it in a dish
Okay.
on the counter and eat it.
Oh.
Is it
Is
like
it
the
dried?
seaweed chips type things?
Yeah, but it's all ground, so you can put it on your food if you want, whatever. What I like to do is
do that.
just go grab it, and then I eat it until I can't taste it anymore.
Is that because your body's telling you that's what
Your body's telling you you've
Is
had
it
enough.
iodine and stuff?
Yep. It's fast metabolizing. So, if you have like a thyroid issue, if you're on thyroid medication, things like that, you should probably check with your doctor.
If Dave dipped Doritos in kelp powder, would that have the same effect?
If
They
they
would-
came out with kelp Doritos.
kelp crickets. I love it.
She's
Love
making me
it.
think I'm eating crickets now. This is
You are.
crazy.
I
sure
know
you
you are.
There's probably worse things in there than the crickets.
Come on, dude. I got
The
salsa verde
dyes.
over there. I had to buy props for
Why
our
not,
commercial.
maybe you can
coming
find
out.
like a healthy alternative.
I've tried that.
Yeah, I know it's not the same. Doesn't.
Maybe
That's
just
my
once
vice.
a week.
Yeah.
There you
I mean,
go.
how many?
That's
how
also
often is it?
insanity right there. That's also insanity. Okay. Got a lot of bad ideas coming at me right now. And it's uncomfortable in this space.
He's gonna run to the basement.
Yeah.
We can
His
eat
Dorito,
Doritos.
his Dorito altar,
Why don't
and
you just go sit in your bean bag? Yeah. Thank
Your
you.
little
Still have it?
No. So many years ago. So many years
Still
ago.
have
I need to. I'm gonna have AI draw me a picture of Chubby
man.
Dave.
I ended up on AI
In
the
his
other day.
cave.
There's all sorts of AI photos. Of
Yeah,
me
those were
coming out.
cool looking. This one won't be cool.
Yeah.
With your little pet rat on your shoulder, it'll be great.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be cute?
Dude,
Hanging on
a
the wall.
fat rat, big old white rat, man.
Did it ever lose its tail?
No,
Like you never?
not that I'm aware of.
Oh my gosh. My son had this rat called Mrs. Petticoat.
It's this petticoat.
Always looking for it in their room, in the
Oh,
boys' room. I have 3 sons. And I would be just running around, looking under beds, crawling everywhere, looking for this rat. And I found her on the bookshelf one day and I grabbed her tail and I pulled back and that tail was still in my hand. Mrs. Petticoat was gone.
No, no.
Oh, she was awful. She was terrible. She had to go to the farm.
Oh,
She had to go to the farm.
That's funny. What going back to your farm? What did you guys farm? What was the produce, or did you guys have animals? Or
oh,
what
the
was it?
original when you grew up.
The original.
Oh, we had a horse ranch is what we had, and we just raised steer. I mean,
Cool.
cows, whatever.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
cowboys.
Yep.
That's legit. But now, what about the current farm situation?
So the current, we raise pork. I have my own dairy cow. Her name is Lily. She's a Jersey. And she
That's the
feeds
black
the
and white one,
farm.
right?
She feeds the farm. She's not black and white. She's like a dun. But yeah, so she feeds the whole farm.
What's it done?
She's like a rusty
Oh,
brown color.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just cute little face and everything.
How many gallons of milk do you get a day from?
So when she freshens, it's about 5 gallons a day.
5 gallons a day.
And so we make our own yogurt, your own ice cream, your
Oh
own.
my gosh, that must be so good.
So, but you can see this. This is how it, like, when you have one cow, but I have people in the market that have 5, 6 cows.
Well, that's a lot of milk.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How long does
So
it take
come visit us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, our goal is to get some folks on this side of the hill to come to that side of the
Have
hill.
we done it? We haven't done a video out there. I know you love being on video. So
I have.
like
I have, but not with
Enjoy
her.
it so much.
it would be
I can't imagine.
You know what we can do? We'll go do some social media stuff.
we should. I would love to come out there and let people know about it.
Yeah, we need a live band for May 30th
Jacob.
through
Rock star movie.
June 1st. We need a rocker. Yeah.
We got a guy.
There we go.
Somebody.
We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if not,
It'd
I
be
can play.
fun. Yeah, there you go. We don't care.
No. Yeah. No.
How? Yeah. So
Negative.
what's the genre?
Negative.
Beginner.
Yeah. Beginner everything.
Beginner.
This is
I
really
don't
cool.
even know. Well, wait. I want to know more about the cow. So, you have to milk this cow every day because I've had people like you should get a dairy cow. I'm like I'm not ready for that commitment. That's a big commitment.
It is.
How do
It's
you- how-
huge.
Do you go on
mean, you're-
trips? What do you do? You have
Yeah.
to-
How do you go anywhere?
right.
Right? How do you go anywhere when you have a business period? I don't know.
And you have to do it whether it's 0 degrees outside or 100 degrees outside. You have to do it.
Yep. When we were -19,
You're out there milking.
I'm out there
Lily.
milking. I put hot packs in my gloves and I put my gloves right here and I sit on the stool and I milk and then I put my hands in my gloves and then return.
How long does it take to?
Sometimes I take her down to the shop because there's a wood stove down there.
Heck yeah.
And so Lily gets to,
Lily treat.
yeah, she wants to stay.
How long does it take you to milk her?
It takes like 20 to 30 minutes depending. Like if you're really milking 5 gallons a day, then it's going to take you about an hour.
Oh my God.
Oh,
With cleanup and everything, I mean, that's start to, but it's just a time to like sit and reflect. I spend a lot of time like.
That's another thing we're missing in today's society, right? Because you can't, everybody, I'm guilty of this too. I have 1 second of free time and I'm like, what's on my phone, right? But you can't milk a cow and scroll on Instagram at the same time.
No.
So.
And instant gratification.
Right.
Like.
Yeah. And that time is so important. That's when I find myself not doing that. That's when my mind gets to wander, and that's how I get good ideas or solve problems in my life. I need that time, right? We all need that time. Nobody gets it anymore. You do, but
I'm gonna get her a strap for the cow to hold her phone so she can watch the podcast while you're looking.
Look, Lily.
She's gonna be out there with a tripod, like, oh, that was great.
Strap it to the side of Lily. There you go. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a little
awesome.
Dr. Pepper holder so she can drink Dr. Pepper. While
I'm
she's
gonna
doing it,
bring
too.
you a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like,
just
I'm gonna
see
hand it to you right in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, here you go.
No, they all know. Don't bring it in plastic.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, okay.
You gotta find a glass bottle.
I'll find a glass one. Yeah,
No.
I'll find you a good one.
No, it can be a can. I don't care.
Vintage,
I
alright.
do not care. Small ones so that I can drink 2 in 1 week.
I think we kind of touched on this, but if someone were to like make one change in their life, you said the meat, is there other, I don't know, like, where do you think the biggest issues come from in what we're eating?
I think
You said plastic, and that made me think of that.
Yeah, plastic. All the what is it called? Emissions coming
Chemicals.
from
Yeah.
they're chemicals. They actually have a lot of estrogen in it.
I've heard that.
That's why I cry so much.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But
Sorry.
I mean, no, but you're right. Like everything, I'm on testosterone. Dave is too, right? Because I think most men our age, especially if you come from a similar background, your testosterone levels are super low, and they are not the way they were 50 years ago. So something
Do
is
you eat
causing
any
that decline.
soy, like soy proteins?
I would not
things like that?
intentionally, but I also catch it sometimes in certain things. There's soy in there. I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't
Yeah.
eat it regularly, but I'll go to I'll eat things that are tofu based and stuff like that from time to time, but it's not anything significant.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you'll find it's in other products that you might not even.
Oh, yeah.
Like why? I don't know.
It's
but
not necessarily the whole bean that you would want to be concerned with. It's the meals and the powders and such that
Right.
when it changes its form, whenever there's a change, that's what I would be more concerned about. And like, I don't know, soy formula, things like that.
Yeah, totally.
We're all guilty of it.
Yep.
I'm totally guilty of it.
Yeah.
You know?
But most of us didn't know any better, and we're learning.
No.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll look back in 10 years and be like, "Wow, uptime is terrible for you."
Yeah.
Only we had known.
Oh, we know. We know.
Uptime, please sponsor them.
Yeah.
I don't even drink it. I don't want it. I just want black coffee. I don't even drink coffee.
His wife, I started knowing
I
he's
have never
disappearing.
had.
That's because
You
they're
got
not
my
very
wife
big.
hooked on it. You got
and
her hooked on it.
I randomly saw this because I'm like, and it all started when I really wasn't using testosterone. I was so tired throughout the day, and I still get tired from time to time. But I wanted something with caffeine. I don't like coffee. I don't like hot drinks, and I'm always looking for something. And I'm like, oh man. And I picked this up one time at the resort, and I looked at the back of it. I was reading labels. I'm like, huh. I'm like, I got one of these. There's no like food coloring, no anything else in it. I mean, it looks like water. And I was like, well, let me try that. Like I said, a little step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But
I have recently.
his wife started drinking all mine.
Yeah, thank you for getting my wife hooked on that crap.
You're welcome.
Within the last, so about 2 weeks ago, I decided, maybe 3, I don't know. I was going to cut out caffeine because I've been a slave to caffeine for 30 years. And it pisses me off that I'm a slave to it. So I took a week where I detoxed from it, which was horrible, which made me more resolute in kicking it because I'm like, wow, if I'm having withdrawals from this drug that I've been drinking for 30 years. And then now I allow myself to have 1 caffeinated beverage a day, but it's not like, it's like tea or maybe a coffee. But I've found that, believe it or not, my energy level is more consistent throughout the day. I think I was getting to a point where my adrenal system was completely shot because I was just ingesting so much caffeine. My cortisol levels were all out of whack. So I would drink coffee in the afternoon and I would feel more tired after. And then that was my sign, was like, it's probably not right. So
Yeah.
that's been a recent one for me. It's been going good. Don't mock me with those eyes.
And
Dave.
vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I supplement with vitamin D.
Vitamin D helps a lot with especially the winters that we do have here. They can be dark.
Yeah, I go back and forth with different supplements in my life. Right, currently I'm doing magnesium at night, vitamin D, vitamin B. I have a B complex that I take, and then this one's very recent. This is an interesting thing: BPC 157, which is a peptide that I know people have used to inject, and it has healing properties. Now they make it in a pill form, so it goes directly into your stomach. I've been taking that for about 2 weeks right now, and I've had 0 acid reflux incidents since then. I don't know if it's a correlation, but I've also been cutting way back on gluten, almost none. So it could be either of those. I don't know, but there's a lot of interesting stuff out there if you can cut through the bullshit.
Yeah, gluten didn't used to be bad.
No.
It didn't used to be bad.
Right.
But with the glyphosate, that they're using, and then once you crack that wheat, it releases it.
I ate whatever I wanted as a child.
Well, there's so much.
It hit me in my 30s.
There's so much genetically modified wheat too. I mean, whoever it was won the Nobel Peace Prize when they created, the certain type of wheat, and it was once again great intent, right? They tried to genetically modify wheat so that it would grow hardier in rough environments, and it's called dwarf wheat or something. I can't remember. But it was back in the 40s, and they wanted to do it because it just came through the Great Depression, all this other stuff, and they wanted to create a wheat that would grow pretty much anywhere, and they did. But because of that, that was one of the major issues with people ingesting wheat and then it not digesting properly. And they say 90% of the wheat out there is this type of wheat. I can't remember what the heck it is.
Sucks.
Yeah, but everything's. But see, this is where I start to really tangent, because I have sat down and, I always tell my kids, hey, eat natural fruits and vegetables, eat this stuff, right? And then I'm eating a peach one day and I'm like, where's this peach? Where's the peach forest? Where's the white peach forest? Where do I go walk through the forest and find it?
Big, beautiful peach.
And then I start looking at things and realize that apples, everybody's looking, eat an apple, right? Apples were green, all of them, and they came from China. That's where apples never grew over here in North America. They were brought here, and just like anything, have you ever seen, something, grow and it's a genetic mutation, right? One day there was a red apple, and they took that and they planted it and they started making red apple trees, and then one of them turned a little different color, and then you had Fuji apple trees, and then they've been processed all over the place, and then they've genetically modified them. Watermelons used to be like this. That was the size of a watermelon. Now they've genetically modified them, and a watermelon's like this. So it's hard for me to tell my kids, hey, that's natural. Mm-hmm. Even that, I'm like, I don't even know. Like
the sugar babies that you can grow in your garden.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know what's natural anymore, to be honest. I really don't. I guess if I would just walk out here, I would eat huckleberries and deer, and that would be my diet.
I would just slip to the dark side and eat Doritos and Uptimes.
See?
Don't even worry about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're on the downhill side of life anyway, buddy.
Cassie, either way, I think
downhill from here.
I think either way, we'd like to support your business. I think it's really important. And if you're watching, this is really, really important to us. And as you see, there's a theme with our podcast, and just it's supporting local businesses and everything else. I know that we're part of the prairie problem, right? We moved up here. This place is growing. We really are. I look at it that way. The world's growing. People are looking for new places, but I don't want to lose sight of these good things that exist. And I'd love to see small businesses, especially, thrive in North Idaho. And I think it's really important. It's on our heart to make sure that we let people know about small businesses and the people that are out here, because that's the pillars of the community. So, and what's the name again of the
market?
The market?
Sun Mountain Four Seasons Farmers Market.
Sun Mountain Four Seasons.
631 Division Street in Kellogg.
Yeah. I will be out there.
Yeah.
And our opening is, the grand opening is May 30th through June 1st.
May 30th. Do you guys have a
Friday
website?
Through Sunday. We have a website.
Okay.
Sun Mountain Four Seasons Farmersmarket.com.
Okay.
And we are on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. I'll link the website in the show notes and then the Instagram as well. So get out there and find her, like her stuff and follow it, and go hit them up, because I think if you're listening to this, you probably care about your body. You probably care about your kids' bodies, and you want to raise them right. And that's a great start, is to monitor what you're putting in there. So get after it. Cassie, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
See you later.